the actual experimental setup here. So we have discussed up till now the theoretical background, what exactly the thermal conductivity is, what is the thermal resistance, what is the rate of heat transfer, then some composite wall concept, and then we must know the experimental setup and how to operate that. So we have already discussed the precautions to be followed and the experimental procedure, right? So just check, this is the composite wall. Here in this case, this is the insulation provided on this composite wall, right? So this is the screw arrangement to press these different material layers, that is screw arrangement to have this good contact between these different materials. And this is the compartment in which this total heater as well as these composite walls are stored, right? So there are 3 layers above the heater and 3 layers below the heaters, and at the center the heater is provided. So you can understand from the schematic of the previous diagram which is shown in the presentation that there are 3 material above the heater and below the heater, right? So at the center the temperatures are T1, T2, then for the next junction it is T3, T4, then next junction T5, T6, and last one is T7, T8, right? Now this is the panel of this composite wall experimental setup. So this is digital temperature indicator. So this is the indicator where the temperatures are shown. Then this is digital voltmeter indicator where voltage is shown. This is digital ammeter where current is shown. Here it is a dimmerstat where we can change the voltage, and obviously the current is also going to change. So on the basis of this voltage, current is changing, and voltage into ampere is nothing but the power supplied or heat input. Now this is the main supply for switch on this heater, that is heater knob or main supply knob. Then this is the fuse, this is main supply indicator, and this is the switch where we can change the RTD points. So if we press this as a 0.1, then here the temperature is showing the RTD temperature T1. If you press this 2, then the temperature is shown as a T2, and likewise, right? So we have to check whether this dimmerstat is at 0 point, right? So if it is not at 0 point, then we have to put it at 0. So it is at minimum level, then and then only we have to start this knob, right? So I'm going to start this knob, that is main supply on. So I have started this experimental setup of composite wall. Now you can understand this voltage is showing 0 or 1 value. Now I am going to change this voltage value at a desired level. So suppose I have decided the 69 or 70 as a voltage, right? So accordingly that current is also going to change. So this voltage is near about 70 plus minus 1, and current at 0.43 plus minus 0.1, right? So we have to wait for the steady state temperature now, because if you observe these temperatures, different temperatures, so I'm going to switch these temperatures. So this is the 8, now it is indicating 8, so it is T8 value, right? So 25.6 is T8 value. Now I am pressing the switch and it is indicating 9. So 9 is error because we have only 8 RTD. Then 0, again there is a error because we are having only T1 to T8 RTD points. Now it is 1. So the temperature 1 is indicating approximate value 50 plus, and it is changing, it is varying. So 55, 56, 53, 51, 52, etc. So this temperature is going to vary with respect to time, and it is not a steady state temperature, right? So if I press this button again, now it is indicating 2. So the temperature 2 is somewhat 26.6, and it is also changing. If I press 3, then the value whatever it is shown in the temperature indicator is also going to change. Then it is T4 value. Now it is T5. Then T6, T7, and T8. So this is how we have to check the temperature values, that is from T1 to T8, right? So we have to take a pause because we have to wait for the steady state temperature. Unless and until the steady state temperature is reached, we can't take this reading as a temperature 1 to 8, right? So after the steady state temperature, normally 1.5 hour or 2 hour may require. If you check this T1 to T8 values again, if that T1 value is specific or at constant temperature, and in a similar way, if all these 8 temperature values are constant, then we can understand the steady state temperature is reaches, right? So we know the V value, we know the I value, and we may know the temperature 1 to temperature 8 values after steady state temperature, right? So now we will check, if we take the readings of all the 8 temperatures and voltage and ampere, how to calculate this rate of heat transfer and thermal resistance. Okay, so after the actual demo, you can observe the different points. Suppose if your college or institute or the industry is having different setup, then you have to write the name of the resource, the make means the company name, and the details of all this experimental setup, right? Then you should write the actual procedure followed, because we have discussed the procedure to be followed, that is theoretical one, but whatever the actual procedure you followed, that should be written in this point. Then whatever the precautions, we have already discussed the theoretical precautions to be followed, you should write the actual precautions followed in this point. Then what are the observations? Now if we are knowing the materials, then on the basis of this material and the temperature range, we can write the thermal conductivity of material 1, material 2, and material 3, right? So whatever the material is present in your setup, that should be written here, and the thermal conductivities as well as the thicknesses of this material should be right here. So you have to write the thermal conductivity values, you have to write the thickness of material values and the slab diameter. So the diameter is normally common in all the cases. So you have to write the diameter as well. Then we should know the different symbols and their meanings. So W is normally the heat supplied by the heater. So these heat supplied can be calculated with the help of voltage into ampere. So we have manually adjusted this voltage, and accordingly the current is changing. So on the basis of this V and I, we can calculate this W. Then Q is nothing but the heat transfer. So that rate of heat transfer, and if you are having two composites wall on both sides of this heater, then this Q can be calculated on the basis of W by 2 for a single composite wall, right? Because the heat input, whatever the W is given, that whatever the V and I is given, that is divided into two portions, that one side composite wall and second side composite wall. So this Q can be calculated on the basis of W by 2. If you are having only one composite wall setup, then this Q is nothing but the W. This small q is nothing but the heat flux. So the rate of heat transfer with respect to unit area is nothing but heat flux. Then A is already discussed, that is area of heat transfer in meter square. V is voltage, I is ampere or currents, and T1, T2 are the interface temperatures of cast iron and heater. T3, T4 are the interface temperature of cast iron and bakelite. T5, T6 interface temperature of bakelite and press wood. T7, T8 are the top surface temperatures of press wood. Then on the basis of experimental setup, after reaching the steady state temperature, we have to write the values of this V, that is voltage, I, that is current, and the values of temperatures from T1 to T8 in degrees Celsius, right? So after reaching the steady state temperature, we have to write these values. If you are going to change this voltage value, then again this current value is also going to change, and this T1 to T8 values is also going to change. So you can go for the second run, third run, or you can go for the different voltages for different batches. Then you can calculate the heat transfer area with the help of pi by 4 d square formula, as it is a circular plate. So you can use this formula, that is pi by 4 d square. So d is the diameter. We already know the diameter value, so you can calculate this area. Then these thermal resistances of each material can be calculated with the help of the formula. Thermal resistance is equal to X upon Ka. So X is the thickness, K is the thermal conductivity, and A is the area of heat transfer. Now in this case, the plates are similar, the discs are similar, that is why the area is also similar, because in the area, the diameter is the only changing term. So diameter is fixed, that is why this area is also fixed. Now for the different materials, the thicknesses are different one, and the thermal conductivities are also different. That is why the formula becomes R1 is equal to X1 upon K1A, R2 is equal to X2 upon K2A, R3 is equal to X3 upon K3A. Now on the basis of this R1, R2 and R3, again we can calculate the total thermal resistance, that is R is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3, right? Now after calculating this total resistance, we can calculate the Q value depending on your setup. If it is only one composite wall, then it is only V into I. If two composite walls are there, then this Q becomes V into I divided by 2, right? Then the calculations for the average temperatures for the different readings can be calculated with the help of this formula, that is TA So TA is nothing but the average of T1 and T2 temperatures. So T1 plus T2 divided by 2. Now TD is the another composite wall's average temperature, that is calculated with the help of T7 plus T8 by 2. So this is the average temperature of one-sided composite wall, and this is the average temperature of second-sided composite wall. Now, if you consider the overall composite wall, then you have to calculate this delta T with the help of difference between TA and TD. So this TA is T1 plus T2 by 2, and this TD is nothing but T7 plus T8 by 2. So this delta T can be calculated as TA minus TD. Now the formula for Q is delta T upon R. So we have already calculated this delta T. We have already calculated this capital R with the help of R1 plus R2 plus R3 formula. Now you can calculate this Q as delta T upon R. So we have calculated this rate of heat transfer with the help of this ratio, that is driving force to the total thermal resistance. If you are going to change these voltages, then obviously the temperatures are going to change, and on the basis of this TA, TD values, delta T values, R values and capital Q values are also going to change, right? So for the different voltage values, the values of capital R and Q is also going to change. So on the basis of this capital R and delta Q calculations, you can write the results as total heat loss through the composite wall is whatever the value after the calculations in terms of watt, and the total thermal resistance, that is capital R, is equal to the value which is calculated after experiment, that is in terms of watt per meter Kelvin. So if the value of Q, that is heat input given by you and heat calculated by you after the experiment or on the experimental basis is different, then you can interpret the result. You can write the causes or the reasons or possible reasons for the interpretation of these results, and on the basis of these results you can conclude the experiment, right? So for the sake of your knowledge, for cross checking of your knowledge or the theory part, you can solve these sample questions and you can add some of the additional questions also. So for the details of this composite wall and the heat transfer operation, you can go through these references, the books as well as the URL are given. Thank you for patient listening.